That was gross.
I know it is gross. Pop Culture Roundup. Oh,
Robot.
season 2.
I like
Season 2.
Gotta switch it up every now and then.
All right.
Okay.
What are we talking about today?
So I just finished watching LuLaRoe
Ooh,
on Amazon Prime.
that was a good one.
Gotta shout it out.
That was a good one.
Crazy.
How ugly those leggings were.
Disgusting.
It's true.
Literally should be a jailable offense.
Is it sad that I found that the most offensive part of the entire thing?
Yes, I think so.
I'm
There
morally-
are people who literally left like life savings on the table, and your biggest thing is the leggings.
I'm morally corrupt.
It's definitely up there though.
Second biggest.
Second biggest for sure.
I just don't get how they were able to sell such hideous leggings.
Such disgusting leggings,
And
especially the
dresses.
leggings where it was like the thing was like framing the lady parts. You know, your kitty cat. Yep, that's good. I think they got it.
Just making sure.
All right, so LuLaRoe.
What's the situation? What's the fiasco?
Okay, so LuLaRoe is this company that was founded by this like lady, right, back in the 90s, and so Deanne something. You're right, and her husband. I think his name was Mark. I think his name is Mark. Sorry, he's still living. He's still with us.
Yeah.
And so she basically starts making skirts and other clothing items out of like cheaper fabrics and selling them out of the trunk of her car. Eventually, she gets so successful doing this that she decides to turn it into a legitimate business because at that point, it had just been her and her daughter. Like, yes, let's definitely air quote legitimate. And starts making leggings. And so she builds out this network of women who are selling leggings.
Yep. That's a good way to put it. Yep. Direct sales,
Yes.
right? Consultants, rather.
They were called fashion consultants.
Fashion
or
consultants.
Something consultant-y.
Yeah. No, I think it was fashion consultants.
Okay.
Make them feel special.
Yeah.
So so she's selling her stuff to them. So they're buying it up front for thousands of dollars.
And then selling it back to unsuspecting customers with terrible fashion sense.
Other people, unsuspecting customers. Yeah. Other victims. So, but it was like 5,000 to 10,000 startup costs, right?
Yeah, I think it was like, yeah, that's right. That was right.
You had to buy like a minimum of $5,000 of inventory, they called it. And then they would encourage you to continue purchasing inventory because you want to make sure you have enough because just people are just flooding, right? Everyone just wants to buy these fucking amazing leggings.
Right.
Is how it sounded.
Yeah. But then so by the end of, I think it was like 2017 or sometime around then, she had 80,000 distributors or fashion consultants.
Yeah. Fashion.
And it started from just her and her daughter selling skirts out of the trunk of their car.
Like every good fairy tale.
Right. So the issue is, well, there are many issues in addition to the ugly leggings.
Many issues.
One of the bigger issues is that people are, so basically in addition to selling the leggings, right, you can make money for each person that you recruit to sell under you. And so these women, so let's say there's like one lady, Becky Joe in Missouri, that came super quick to me.
Becky
Very
Joe
naturally.
definitely exists.
Becky Joe in Missouri was selling leggings, right? So let's say she's got like a couple thousand leggings at her house. She's doing okay, whatever, who really knows. But if she brings in people below her.
Marianne.
Marianne.
Becky Joe brings in Marianne.
Marianne. And she also brings in a Susie Lee.
Susie Lee's definitely there.
Or no, Amy Lee, because
Amy
Lee was in Righteous Gemstones. So shout out to Amy Lee.
Okay.
And so for each legging that these people sold, the person, Becky Joe, would get a cut of their profits.
Top dog.
Yep.
So
Top dog, Becky Joe.
I don't want to draw any particular shape here, but if you're Becky Joe and then you got 3 people.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a triangle.
Kind of.
Or if ancient Egypt,
a pyramid, might we say?
Might we say?
I don't know.
It's kind of looking like that is what you're telling me. Okay. So Becky Joe at the top is recruiting people.
Yep.
And then she's getting a cut. Yep. So Becky Joe is making money off of Kimberly Lee.
Amy Lee and Marianne. Why don't you put some respect on their names?
You know Amy Lee's the lead singer of Evanescence?
I did not know that.
Yeah. You remember Evanescence?
Yeah.
Like the gothic pop
They're
band?
big songs at the top of my head, but it's not coming
It's like
out.
super sad.
Yeah.
It was like when
it's very dark.
Mainstreamers like us wanted to feel edgy.
Yeah.
We're like, we listen to Evanescence.
Yeah.
I'm gothic now. Okay, sorry. So Amy Lee and Becky Joe and all that. So Becky Joe's got her little pyramid, shall we call it? And she's making a profit off of the people she recruits.
Yes.
by having them, because everybody has to pay $5,000 to get started.
At least, yeah.
So presumably she's getting a cut of that initial investment and then whatever they sell to other people. So the profits, again, this is no particular shape, but they keep going up. Like this.
No particular shape.
No particular
Just making our hands in random gestures.
I'm trying to just indicate this because this doesn't make sense.
I love it. Love it.
Okay, go on. I got it.
So Becky Joe is working
more.
for Deanne and her family, etc.
Okay.
So, you know, as they're getting bigger, right, like they're doing more and more to keep recruiting distributors. And so I don't want to give away the series. Like, you guys should definitely go watch it. It was really good, super illuminating. They had people who were current distributors as well as people who had stopped distributing, which I thought was pretty fascinating. There are people like still on the bandwagon, but
still
God
drinking
bless,
the Kool-Aid.
you do you. Via con Dios.
The thing is, they've been accused of being a pyramid scheme. That's what we're getting at, right? They say, no, we're multi-level marketing.
Well, so I was going to say, before we even got to that, right?
What? Tell me.
As the docuseries shows, they start to get all these complaints.
Oh, yeah.
And they're getting complaints from customers about the quality of the materials and the refund process or lack thereof.
Soggy leggings.
Well, that was the distributors. So the customers were filing some complaints for like the shitty quality and like literally holes tearing in people's butt while they're like walking through Walmart.
I hate when that happens.
And then on the other hand, to your point, they had claims from distributors because distributors were saying like, I'm getting shitty goods. I can't sell these. How do I get my money back and get better quality products? Or like, you know, I haven't gotten paid, or like my checks are all bad, blah, 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 blah.
Sounds reasonable enough.
Thousands of complaints.
Their complaints
Thousands of complaints for people.
Yeah.
And so eventually states and the government start investigating this whole thing. And so, as you guys will find out when you watch, basically they're trying to figure out, are they a pyramid scheme or are they multi-level marketing?
Right.
And so tell me about it. You did all the dork research. What's the difference?
I just know the pyramid.
You just know the no specific shape, just throwing my hands in a general motion.
So pyramid scheme is like, I think most of us like have heard of that term.
For sure.
And it basically means that you are making money off of recruiting people because those people you're recruiting have to pay an upfront fee.
Yep.
Don't want to draw any parallels, but we just talked about LuLaRoe having to spend at least $5,000 upfront.
If there was a name at the top of my head
for the inventory. And then in a pyramid scheme, you're not really selling anything though. Yep. That's the key, right? You pretend to you act like you're selling something, goods or services, but you're not actually selling anything. You're making money off of bringing new people in, and that pushes the cash flow up to the people who were there at the beginning, which is why people who are in on the pyramid scheme at the very beginning are able to be fine. They make out with a lot of money because they're making money off of everybody that comes after them. But the people at the bottom and even the middle, they're the ones getting screwed.
Getting shit,
because unless you keep, like, how many more people can you possibly keep bringing in consistently? And then you have to, for each level of the pyramid, it's spread out among more and more people, right? Because at the top, there's less people to distribute profits from. Versus MLM, multi-level marketing, similar because you can make money, you do make money off of recruiting others, but you're also selling something. So that's where LuLaRoe said, no, we're not a pyramid scheme because those are illegal. We are an MLM because we actually sell things. We sell leggings, right? So you're like, okay, that is different technically, but there are other things that have to be in place for an MLM to be legit. Otherwise, slippery slope into pyramid scheme territory, right? So like you said, these complaints, the fact that they're getting shit products that they can't return to the mothership, that seems pretty sketch. Then it seems like you're just basically, what the impression I got off of this documentary is that LuLaRoe was trying to do things that made it seem like they were legit on paper, but in practice weren't actually happening.
I feel like there should be some test or some threshold for the legitimacy of the products, right? Like if you're selling, I don't know, furniture, and the furniture is quality, and okay, fine. So the distributors are earning money from the furniture sales and from recruiting. But again, if the furniture is like of decent quality, fine. Like maybe that it really is MLM. But in LuLaRoe's instance, like the leggings were so disgusting and horrible low grade quality that I'm like, is that really a legitimate product or is it just a cover up?
Got it. So you're saying just because we produced something
that shouldn't be enough.
Make it like that, but that's the point, right? They check the box of like, look, we're selling something.
Like we're selling a legitimate product.
But like you said, it seemed almost too like the quality was better in the beginning, and then the quality degraded over time because then the patterns. Then there was this big push to just churn out product,
right? Because
they wanted more people to buy more product, so that money, the inventory profits, would flow up to the not pyramid
than the top
of the
people.
stuff. So like you were saying, they got in trouble with Washington State in particular, who filed a lawsuit against them. And didn't actually go to court. They settled, right, for just over $4 million,
something like that,
4.5, 4.6 million. And LuLaRoe still does not admit fault. They go, we're a legit MLM. We're not a pyramid scheme because this, and that.
Now, I do think they have some, as a result of that settlement, they have some like additional disclosure requirements going forward. And like they have to tell the state basically how many distributors they have and what the numbers are and, you know, like what they're cutting for the bonus checks, because the bonus checks were coming from the recruitment and not from the product sales. There's definitely more, people are looking into them more.
Right.
But I think it's so fascinating that like, all you need to do is say that we're selling a legitimate product to be a multi-level marketing company, which is completely legal, versus pyramid schemes, which are illegal. But also, like, the things that they were asking people to do to get the money to be a part of the company, the org, the whatever, was just wild. And we don't want to give it away. We're not going to give it away. You guys should definitely go watch.
We should. I mean, you should. But I do want to say that what threw me for a loop, and with just pyramid schemes or MLMs in general, is like how cult-like it feels. To be part of that. Like that's the takeaway for me, is like, on top of the legality, illegality of it, right, and these different factors that they have to put in place to make sure they're not employees, but consultants, distributors are protected, is that a lot of companies like this have some sort of like leader, the owner, who acts like they're God's gift to humanity, like they're a superstar.
Well, she thought she was.
She did. And so they throw millions of dollars worth of parties, right? Huge elaborate productions that you would imagine only like, I mean, what kind of events? Like awards events even. Like they had Katy Perry come and perform. They had Kelly Clarkson come and perform. Who presumably both cost millions of dollars to do a private.
1,000%.
A private showing like that. So to me, where I thought like, okay, you might be legit, but doing this actually makes me think you are less legit, because I don't know how many multi-million-dollar corporations are willing to spend multi-millions on a 1 day or 2 day event.
Show, but it was all ploy, right? Like I think we, at least as rational humans, know that this was all a ruse to get more people to join and give more upfront fees and all of that, so that the people who were at the top of an unspecified, what is this thing called? An unspecified shape, I said, could continue to gain more profits, while the people at the bottom, like you said, are just suffering and they're not getting shit.
And I want to say, we've kind of said this, but on the nose, like the key to me, my takeaway is that if you're making more money from recruiting people than you are selling the actual goods, that's probably more on the pyramid side of things. Like you're like, this is the spectrum, this is the pyramid, and here's like a legit business.
But it's interesting, right? Because it's not the first time that we've seen these things happen and people get away with like behaviors like this, because there's obviously like,
spill the tea. Who are you gonna talk about?
Spill the tea.
Tell me.
If I had to pick some other names to throw into this category of shady behaviors, I would say Mary Kay. And HerbaLife.
You're coming after the pink ladies?
I'm coming after the pink ladies.
And their Cadillacs. I don't care about HerbaLife. Yeah, I don't care about HerbaLife.
That's almost kind of worse, I think, because people are like, they're purporting to be this company that's going to help you like be healthy and if you want to lose weight and all of these things.
Talking about Mary Kay.
No.
HerbaLife is terrible.
I think that's even worse, that you're like scamming people into thinking that you're going to help them be healthy.
Yeah. The FDA came after them multiple times, right? Just the product itself, not even the business plan, but the product itself.
Because they like weren't disclosing like what was in it and like ingredients and how much of things, and so
it's like insecticide.
Yeah, that's horrible. Okay,
it's not. That's a joke.
But like, I think that's probably the worst one, because like I said, you're literally making people think that you're going to help them get healthy, versus just ugly leggings and ugly makeup.
Let's talk about HerbaLife for a second.
Go for it.
That's also a story where the guy started selling the HerbaLife shake out of the trunk of his car. And
but I will say that he seemed to have good intentions at first, because I think he said that he created the products because his mom had passed away early because she lived a really unhealthy life. And so he was trying to make healthier products to help people like
manage weight,
maintain weight or whatever, like, get enough protein and vitamins, because they also have like vitamin supplements. So it's not just like the weight loss shakes.
Okay.
But
But
Go ahead.
still,
Talk about
I mean,
your HerbaLife, man.
it's the same MLM structure, or that's what he claims, right? So
That's what it
he's
turns
saying
into.
we're selling product. Again, the difference: we're selling product. It's not a pyramid scheme. We're selling product. Here's the HerbaLife. But when you run into these shady practices, where again people are making more money off of recruiting people rather than selling the actual product, and they can't return, right? It's the same. Isn't the same set of
For sure.
similar facts?
For sure.
That's the difference.
Yep.
I also just don't. The MLM part of it is interesting to me, but again, when I think of HerbaLife, I think predatory, a predatory product to go after people who think that this is a fair supplement.
When we were on vacation we were somewhere over the summer, I literally saw an older woman who was wearing "I love selling HerbaLife" on her shirt, and I was like, "Are people still doing this?"
Cult-like.
Like it was a button on her jean jacket. First of all, I haven't seen a button in so long.
That's
but
adorable.
also, like you rep them that hard.
That's a good point. You said she was an older woman.
She was an older woman.
I feel like these kinds of companies do prey on people who are in more rural areas, women, especially stay-at-home moms. Like that was the LuLaRoe
That was
thing.
part of yep.
Is you're a stay-at-home mom, you want to feel like you're contributing to the household, making money, and they market themselves. All these companies tend to market themselves as work part-time, full-time. We're flexible.
Right.
Do what you want. Look at what we can sell. That's the showmanship of it, right?
Yeah.
The HerbaLife guy. Oh my God, one of his events, he was speaking to a gravestone on stage, saying that it was like John Doe and talking about how much potential he had. And for like 5 minutes, he's screaming at this tombstone, being like, you can be so much more than this. It's not too late. You can own your own business and become a millionaire. And right, but it's preying on
people are sitting there like, I'm so inspired.
Yes.
Tell me more about your life.
But that's how they sell you, right? That's why the pyramid scheme, the top guy is saying, look how much I have. It's showmanship. LuLaRoe, right? They were accusations that it was like, on Instagram, on Facebook, show out. Show your new Escalade.
They
show
weren't
your
too different from Erica Jane, right? Like they had private jets and they were doing hair and makeup and they were really living the high life.
Right. That's where I'm like almost like, this is what we've talked about. Beyonce and Jay-Z don't have to stunt like that because they have real money, right? People who have real money don't have to do the most.
As my inspiration, Lil Wayne said.
Your inspiration?
Yes. Real G's move in silence like lasagna.
Oh yeah, you've said that before.
I love that line because I feel like it's true. Like when you have it, to your point, you don't have to flaunt it. You just do it.
Yeah,
that's your life. There's nothing special about this. But like the LuLaRoe ladies of the world and the Mary Kay ladies of the world are like, let me blast all this. They're a pink Cadillac.
Yeah, a pink Cadillac.
Why is that necessary? That's not even. There's no swag in a pink Cadillac.
It was also a different time. Like I feel like if they came up now, I don't know if they'd have the success that they do. Right? Like this was what.
I mean, that was back when we were in like elementary, middle school.
90s.
It's not any different than LuLaRoe though, right? Like they're just saying, we're empowering you ladies.
Yes.
We're empowering you, Becky Joe, to go sell makeup and like make some money for your household and help out.
It feels predatory, right? Like
it could probably actually be bigger now, right? Because think about how big the makeup industry is. I mean, obviously people are like definitely more targeted into like the Kylie Jenner makeups and all of that of the world. So like maybe Mary Kay has kind of lost that ability, old. But like it's definitely for older women.
Yeah, it feels old.
Yeah.
No, but older women, yes.
For the more mature ladies.
You want to feel mature. Like you're, mature. You want to feel like you're contributing and the familial kind of community that comes with it. This is where I talk about the cult thing because you feel like you're a part of something. You have all these friends. They're all encouraging you until they're not.
Right.
Right. Like it sounded
because
like
then they're selling their own shit. And so it's like fucking war after that.
It kind of, yeah. And then some people, they said that how, it was tough to get out of LuLaRoe, right? It was tough to leave LuLaRoe. Like people were mad at them and stopped talking to them. And it reminded me of Scientology, actually.
It reminded me of NXIVM. Did you ever end up watching that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, you did?
Yes.
Because remember how like they would like attack them and target them after they left?
Smear campaigns after that.
Yep.
You're not, and then like same thing, you're not allowed to talk to them, Scientology, right? Don't talk to them anymore. And you just like shame them for not thinking exactly how you do.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't seem sus at all.
I guess those aren't pyramid schemes since they're not.
They're cults.
Making money. They're just taking money and indoctrinating people. But yeah.
I think pyramid schemes have to be like cults, right? Because how else
do you convince people to do it?
Yeah. How else do you sell nothing?
Yeah.
Except for bodies. You're selling bodies. You're recruit more people. Give me money. And if you're there in the beginning, it sounds enticing because you're thinking what? I think at one point some of the LuLaRoe distributors were making $50,000 a month in bonuses.
So I think one woman said that she was making like $1 million or something crazy
in a month.
I mean, if you're like at the top of the thing and all those people have trickled into your pyramid, like.
No, they said one woman had like...
You could make a ton of fucking money.
One woman had like 80,000 women under her. right? So 80,000, I think something crazy, like tens of thousands of women under her pyramid scheme. MLM that was shaped like a triangle. My bad.
It just sucks because, I mean, to your point, like there's just so many people who invest their life savings into these schemes, whether it's Mary Kay or whether it's HerbaLife, whether it's LuLaRoe, because they think they're going to give themselves a better life and their family, all to be like duped. And then they're left without friends because their friends who were not doing it are like, you're a fucking psycho. Their friends who were in it were like, you left the scheme, you got to come back. They've got no money. They've got all this shit product.
Right.
And it's just like your life falls apart.
Yeah. And like you said, though, these lawsuits that have happened at least encourage these companies to do better, right? To implement policies that will make them more legitimate. So buyback policies, right? If you can't sell your product or it's damaged, give it back. We'll refund you. Seems like a basic tenet.
It also just seems like it takes so long though, right? Because HerbaLife had all of these claims dating back to like 2004, and basically they didn't have any repercussions or requirements until recent years.
Yeah.
Same with LuLaRoe. Like they had been having complaints for years.
Right.
Nothing really happened until I think it was like 2019. And now there's obviously all this attention around it.
Documentaries now.
I don't think Mary Kay has ever really had anything come to light about like state requirements or paying settlements or anything, even though they've had complaints from people who've been involved.
It sounds like Mary Kay may not be as bad as the other two that we're talking about, LuLaRoe and HerbaLife.
Cadillac,
right?
So of course it's not as bad.
Well, like I think the problem is like Mary Kay folks. I think it came out that they ended up, the person that would supposed to be selling the Mary Kay would buy more of their own Mary Kay than other people, right? So that's another aspect that feels a little, I mean, it's not a pyramid scheme because I guess in pyramid schemes you don't have goods, but an MLM that seems like illegal because
shady.
If you're selling it to your coworkers, then it makes it look like you're selling goods, but it's not real because you're just selling it to each other.
To somebody else who's also a distributor.
Yeah, you go in debt by selling your stuff.
Yeah,
is what happens. You're not making a profit off of your stuff. You're making money off of, again, recruitment. That's the problem.
Not shaky at all.
Well, I am not happy about any of this.
Well, I love the documentary. Go Amazon. But also, I hope that we get like more MLM documentaries because I think they're super fucking fascinating.
I could use one on HerbaLife, actually. I'd like to know more.
Somebody should start that, please. One of our judges, one of our fans, please go do an HerbaLife docuseries or documentary.
Please. We'll take it all.
Yep.
All right. Well,
get into it.
Good pop culture roundup, huh?
Yeah. If you have not, head over to our podcast, listen to our full episodes on various juicy, shady topics. Leave us a review on Apple.
Please.
Come join us on Patreon for even more shits and giggles.
We have a lot going on.
Come be a judgy.
Join us.
Bye.
But not like a cult.